I just needed to fix one roof tile. Now I'm basically a civil engineer. It was a cloudy Tuesday, the kind of sky that looks down at you like it knows a secret. I was sitting on the couch, half drinking cold coffee, looking like a throw pillow with feelings, when I heard it. Drip, drip, drip. Looked up, and there it was, a leak. Right in the middle of the living room, a dark stain slowly growing on the ceiling like some kind of modern art installation. And of course I thought, this is nothing, I'll fix it in half an hour. That's when the first mistake happened. Confidence over 40 is like a leftover yogurt. You think it's fine until you open the lid and realize it's way past its time. I went to grab the ladder, that old creaky thing hiding behind a cabinet. Each step made a different sound like it was warming up for a concert. I had duct tape in one hand, a screwdriver in the other, and a flashlight that only works if you hit it twice and whisper a prayer. By the third step, my lower back gently tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, maybe let's rethink this?" By the fourth, the wind showed up and reminded me, the roof is enemy territory. I reached the top, crouched down, looked at the tile, and it wasn't a loose tile. It was a crater. No, multiple craters. It looked like someone had fed a jackhammer to a squirrel and set it loose. I grabbed the new tile. Wrong model, obviously, because there are 87 kinds of roof tiles that all look identical, and the guy at the store sent me home with the one designed for castles in Spain. Plan B, duct tape. I wrapped that thing like a fish at the market. Around the tile, the wood, my own dignity. The tape stuck to my arm, then to my hair. The wind blew, the tape flew, the tile followed it, and what stayed behind was my ego, pinned to the rafters. And that's when my phone slid out of my pocket, bounced off a tile, hit the ground, lit up with a notification, heavy rain expected in your area. The weather app has a sense of humor. Desperate, I called my brother-in-law. The guy swears he's good at this stuff. I turned on the camera so he could guide me by video. He started shouting, "More to the left, not that left," right as I smacked my head on the antenna. Now I've got a bruise shaped like a Wi-Fi symbol. Oh, and the outfit I was wearing? Pajama shorts, an old campaign t-shirt, and mismatched socks. If emergency services had passed by, they would have rescued me just for the fashion violation. I even downloaded a level app to make sure the tile was straight. Set my phone down on the roof. It slid right off into a bucket full of water. Now the app just shows sea level. Enter the neighbor. You know the type, knows everything, fixes nothing. He climbed up on the wall, looked at me, and said, "What are you building up there, an aquarium?" 5 minutes later, he was on the roof with me. He brought an old tile, a broken broomstick, and a whole lot of confidence. We built a support system that looked like a middle school science project. He said, "My uncle used to fix things like this, and it always worked." I'm guessing his uncle lived in the desert. Back inside, dripping wet, scratched up, I grabbed the nearest bucket to catch the leak. The only one available? My kid's beach bucket. Bright blue, cartoon shark printed on the side. He looked at me like I had destroyed Christmas. Now he only plays with Legos. I lay on the couch, exhausted. The leak was contained, or so I thought. Drip. 2 a.m. The rain started to get serious. The bucket overflowed. Water ran across the floor like it had a destination in mind. Turns out my kitchen is sloped just enough to lead straight into the outlet behind the fridge. I ran for a towel, found the old one we saved for emergencies. As soon as it touched the floor, it disintegrated like ancient scrolls. The water thanked me and kept going. I slipped, hit the cabinet, and when I stood up, I had a slice of ham stuck to my leg. Don't ask. I told my son to hold the ladder. He did for 4 seconds, then saw a butterfly and wandered off. I stayed at the top, completely alone, questioning my choices as a father. Next day, I went back up to try again. Made a few adjustments here and there, and guess what? I accidentally redirected the leak. Now it was dripping right onto the TV. Not just any TV, 85 inches, smart, Ultra HD. Smart enough to know it was being drowned. It fizzled, sparked, and died, silently, like it knew it was too good for this house. While trying to fix it, I leaned into a wooden beam and, bam, a swarm of ants poured out. Not a few, a community, a civilization. I scrambled down the roof screaming, brushing myself off like I was in a silent film without the piano music. Later that night, I noticed a stain on the wall. Mold, moss, a small sentient rainforest. I didn't know. I named it Hope. Because it was growing without light, water, or encouragement. I pointed a fan at it. Let it run for 6 hours. Didn't dry a thing, but now the mold has bangs and attitude. In the end, after losing the tile, the TV, the towel, the dignity, and part of my son's childhood, I called a professional. He climbed up, looked around, paused, and asked, "Who did this?" And I said without blinking, "It was like that when I moved in." Note, I've lived here since 2011. He fixed everything. Next week, the biggest storm of the season came. No leaks, not a drop. I cried. I really cried. Lying on the couch, hugging my kid's little blue bucket, staring at the dead TV like it was a fallen hero. So yeah, if you're over 40 and thinking of fixing something on your own, don't. You're not a contractor. You're a person with loud joints, questionable decisions, and a 3-step ladder that wobbles in the wind. If this story reminded you of a simple fix that became a saga, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and drop your story in the comments. Who knows? The next disaster I tell might be yours.